names have a meaning, and names are quite important to the Almighty who made them. And therefore, in scriptures, when we find several names, even when we find a few, the Almighty is not only telling us the historical aspect of whatever is being said in the story, but also is revealing to us the um, a prophetic theme, pretty much. And most of the time, well, I could say all the time, it deals with what is happening in the context and what will happen in the end times. So it is pretty amazing to see it all the time, revealing more and more. And mostly because most people think that those chapters that have several names are boring and are not saying much and are pointless or whatever. But when we translate the names and read the translations or the meanings of the names, then we can see that there is a message for us from the Almighty. So we're going to read from the first name, which is Artajerjes, which appears there as Artashashta. You see the Artach, here would be Artach. This is Shasta. So the pronunciation will be Artach Shasta. It is translated as, I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter. That's how they translate it in the concordance. I will make the spoil to boil would fit with what Yahweh will do with the enemy during the last war, coming as the fire, making the enemy boil with all the spoil. And I will stir myself in the winter connects with the time when he would or will manifest to fight that war, which is, there are two ways in which we could see this, as the last being stirred up to begin the ministry by spring, which is right after the winter. So he stirs himself up during the winter so that it's in spring the ministry may begin. Or it could mean that at the end of the last 7 years, since the last season of the year is winter, the last of the 7 years would be when the war of Armageddon will happen. So that will be another moment in which he will stir himself up in order to come and fight the enemy and make the spoil to boil. So I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter to be splendid and pure with the helper, or as a helper and soldier of Yahweh, whom Yahweh has helped, whose portion is Yahweh. So it can be seen as the Almighty saying that he will manifest on earth as the fire, starting in the winter, being splendid with a helper, a soldier of Yahweh. So I will make, and I repeat it and repeat it because there are several ways in which we can say it, or we can change a little bit just to understand more of what is being said. So I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter and be pure and splendid with a helper who is a soldier of Yahweh, whom Yahweh has helped, whose portion is Yahweh, who brings retribution and righteousness, who brings retribution through the righteous one, my brother who is good. Remember how I mentioned the last will be called Yahweh Sitkenu. Same root as Tzadok. And my brother is good refers to the last, the brother of Mashiach the first. So, whose portion is Yahweh, who will bring retribution through his righteous one, my brother who is good. Yahweh has promised, speaks, Yahweh spoke, or whom Yahweh spoke of. This Amar Amar means he spoke. Yah is Yahweh. So Yahweh spoke. Yahweh said, Yahweh promised. So, taking it back a little bit, all the way to the beginning. I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter to be pure and splendid with a helper who is a soldier of Yahweh, whom Yahweh has helped. My portion is Yahweh, who will bring retribution as the righteous one, my brother who is good. So it will be as the Yahushua prophesying what will happen. Interestingly enough, Yahushua is the word. The last is the voice. Eliyahu, the help. And we see help everywhere here, like I said in the beginning of the study. So I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter and be pure and splendid with a helper who is a soldier of Yahweh, whom Yahweh has helped. My portion is Yahweh, who will bring retribution through the righteous one, my brother who is good, whom Yahweh spoke of, whom Yahweh has promised. And he is the voice of Yahweh, so through him Yahweh speaks, whom Yahweh has helped in the middle of the rebellion, whom Yahweh has helped in the middle of the rebellion. Or we could add once again Eliyahu there as whom Yahweh spoke of, meaning the brother who is good, the last, and the one whom Yahweh has helped, or the help of Yahweh, who was rebellious. Both the two witnesses were in falsehood, like the rest of the people. So Yahweh helped when they were rebellious in order to make them pure, as the meaning of the name Persia. Yahweh has helped in the middle of the rebellion, in the middle of the apostasy. Yahweh has risen, which is perfect. Zerayah, you see how it has Serach, that is, remember, the brother of Peretz. Tamar had two children, Peretz and Serach. Peretz is the ancestor of Yahushua HaMashiach. Serach represents the last, because it means the light of the sun rising, like coming up. That's why it is translated as Yahweh has risen. A more perfect translation would be Yahweh has risen as the Son of Righteousness, because the Son of Righteousness is the last, Yahushua is the light. So Serachia once again connects with the last, who will rise like the Son of Righteousness on this earth. Obviously, we could also say that Yahweh as Yahushua rose from the dead. So just because of what we were seeing, my brother is good, it's talking about the one who comes as the good, not about Yahushua, who rejected that title, for he is the life. So Yahweh will bring retribution to the righteous one, my brother who is good, whom Yahweh spoke of, whom Yahweh aids in the middle of the rebellion, whom Yahweh aids in the rebellion, or the rebellions, because he has the plural. Yahweh has risen as the strong one, or Yahweh has risen my strength, or we could say whom Yahweh caused to rise with strength, for we can do all things through Mashiach who strengthens us. That's why first Mashiach had to come as the arm to be the strength, and then the last as the hand to fulfill the rest. So Yahweh has risen with strength to waste the earth, or in the time of my wasting, the end times, when everything that is waste will be destroyed. So Yahweh has risen with strength in the time of the wasting. My Father is salvation. My Father will rescue, deliver. So interesting that when everything is being wasted, my Father will rescue the mouth of brass, which represents the mouth of the two witnesses, because fire comes from the mouth of the two witnesses, whom the Mighty One has helped, who brings the light. So, for instance, like I mentioned, the help goes with Eliyahu as well as the name Pinchas, mouth of brass. During the wasting of the earth, my father will rescue brass. We could say he will rescue Eliyahu, for he will be resurrected, whom the Mighty One has helped, he who brought light. For Eliyahu will teach of Mashiach, of course, and Yahushua is the light. The one I was saying previously, my father will rescue in the middle of wasting the earth through the mouth of brass, through the mouth of the two witnesses that speak fire, whom the Mighty One has helped, for he resurrects the two witnesses and brings the few to safety. My father will rescue through the mouth of brass, whom the Mighty One has helped, who brings the light. He is the helper in the middle of confusion, who was drawn from the water, meaning who was drawn from death, meaning who was resurrected, and who will rule as the Mighty One. Bring it back a little bit. During the time of wasting, my father will rescue the chosen few through the mouth of brass, through the teaching of fire. The Mighty One helped through the teaching of fire. Yahweh is helping the earth by bringing light, the true doctrine, to help in the middle of confusion. He will be resurrected to rule like the Mighty One and contend with the Mighty One of this earth. The name actually repeats. Once he is joined to the teaching of Shalom. Or we could say once he is joined, adhered to Mashiach, as we know, first and last become one, Ezekiel 37, Zechariah 14:9, and other chapters. Once they are joined, they will teach Shalom. Yahushua is the word, so we could say he is the actual teaching of Shalom. So once he's joined to Mashiach, he will teach Shalom and make the spoil to boil once I stir myself in the winter. Look how it appears here right after saying joining the teaching of Shalom, first and last being joined. As we know, right after that, the last 7 plagues will come, which is when the earth will go through fire. So it fits with, I will make the spoil to boil, right after joining the teaching of Shalom. And then, like I mentioned, coming to the war of Harmagedon, which is possible that it will be fulfilled on the day of Purim, which is during the winter. So I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter to help with the teaching of Shalom. In the middle of confusion, teaching Shalom as a helper or to help. I repeat, like I mentioned earlier, by contending with the Mighty One of this world in order to rule like the Mighty One once he makes the spoil to boil and stirs himself in the winter. As a helper and the one who will rule like the Mighty One. You could say here, who contends with the Mighty One and makes him boil in the winter as the help of the Mighty One who prevails. Once he's joined to the crown, once he becomes the King of Kings, as we see in Revelation 19, when he comes to fight in the war of Harmagedon, it is written on his thigh, Sovereign of Sovereign, King of Kings. Teaching Shalom, establishing Shalom. Also, teaching is Yeru, which comes from Yara, which means he threw, as in throwing an arrow. So it connects with fighting, war, but a spiritual war. I already mentioned that, but I say it because we see how it is talking about fighting, prevails, contends, help, spoil, boil, and he mentions those names several times. So He who will rule like the mighty one will contend with the mighty one of this earth once he is joined to the crown, and he will throw shalom as arrows that praise Yahweh, or praising Yahweh and teaching peace. He will rule like the mighty one, and he will teach shalom. He will teach shalom in the middle of confusion, teaching shalom, throwing the peace, teaching shalom. I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter. So you see how the names repeat and repeat and repeat. When that happens, it's kind of like confirming once, like over and over again, what is being said or what already said previously. Obviously, when we do this, it becomes kind of redundant. So sorry about that. But it can be seen simply as confirming the fact that he will burn the earth, fight in the winter or get ready in the winter, and will throw shalom all over the world in a time of confusion where everybody will be going through tribulation. He will be a helper, both helper of Yahweh and a helper of the people, for he comes to serve the people by dying for them and teaching. And also fits with Eliyahu, who is also a helper. So I will make the spoil to boil. I will stir myself in the winter as a helper to be joined to the crown that helps to teach shalom. Once the mighty one prevails, he will rule like the mighty one. And that's how it ends. So yeah, this had like half of the names going over and over again. So it was pretty much to the point. Hopefully that was clear.